Hello, coolers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest as usual. We start with Frankie de Jong, as it has been reported that Chelsea joined Liverpool, Manchester United in January race for the Barcelona midfield superstar. We are going to be discussing on that as we move ahead. Then secondly, talking about this report claiming that Barcelona have begun planning seriously for next season without their four captains. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, before we get right into the stories, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch right up to the very end. Barcelona midfielder Frankie de Jong is a man in demand in the Premier League as Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester United are all reportedly ready to make a move for him in the January transfer window. This report comes from ESPN, who claim that the Premier League giants are waiting in the wings to swoop in if the Dutchman chooses to quit Barcelona in the winter window, something that I doubt that. Manchester United's interest in Frankie de Jong is well known, as we write. The Red Devils had reached an €85 million agreement with Barca back in the summer to sign the midfielder, but the player's refusal to leave the club meant that the transfer did not materialize. However, manager Erik ten Hag is still pushing for the 20-time English champions to sign his compatriot Frankie de Jong, as he sees him as a vital addition to the project at Old Trafford. Liverpool have also entered the race to sign de Jong after the number of injuries that they have seen in the middle of the park recently. The report claims that the Reds have already made contact with the Barcelona Stars camp to explore the possibility of a transfer. Now, United and Liverpool have been, joined by Chelsea in the battle to sign Frankie from Barca. Like Manchester United, the Blues too had tried to land the midfielder in the summer, but the move did not come to fruition. However, there is a feeling that the Netherlands international might be more receptive to the possibility of an exit in the January window, as his game time has taken a serious hit this season. Furthermore, with Barca on the cusp of elimination from the Champions League, it could also dictate his future. Chelsea are in the market for reinforcements in midfield, as N'Golo Kante has been ruled out for 4 months due to injury. Jorginho, meanwhile, has refused a contract offer from the club. New owners Todd Boehly and Vedat Ekbali are looking to refresh the squad with young players, with the young now emerging as a target. The Chelsea ownership has a good relationship with HCM Sports Management, who represent the Barcelona superstar. FC Barcelona could be forced into selling a few players in January in order to strengthen their squad further while complying with La Liga's salary cap rules. But Frankie de Jong's departure would hinge on the player softening his stance from the summer. Whether he is willing to swap clubs midway through the campaign or wishes to continue and battle for his place at Camp Nou will be interesting to see. I definitely think it would be a huge mistake if Frankie de Jong leaves this club midway. Definitely, from what we saw yesterday, his performances, that should just be a sign for manager Xavi that this guy ought to be our starting DM all the time. Busquets shouldn't be and have no right to be. Yesterday, I think Frankie de Jong played so well, and I was so happy for the fact that manager Xavi himself complimented him after the game, after the 3-0 win against Villarreal. That is the kind of performance that we need from a modern DM. But it seems as though Xavi have been blindfolded by his friend, Busquets. So with the kind of performance we saw yesterday, honestly speaking, I don't think Barca should ever make a mistake of selling Frankie de Jong. Whether it's in January or in the winter, I think if Frankie de Jong could be given the trust by Xavi, especially after seeing the player's hard work and what he did yesterday, which was so exceptional, then I think that guy needs to stay at this club for a very long time. Frankie de Jong is a world-class player that any big club in Europe would like to have in their team. But in the recent weeks, we see Xavi benching him all the time to his preferred, his preferred Busquets all the time, which have come into serious criticism from the Barca fans worldwide. And I think Xavi should start learning from his errors. It's great to see how Frankie de Jong played yesterday, just trying to tell Xavi that he has all it takes we can count on him. I think he was the best player for me, without a doubt. He was the best player, even though La Liga gave Lewandowski up because of the 2 goals. But I think what Frankie de Jong did yesterday, he deserved the standing ovation he received, because when he was substituted, the Camp Nou fans gave him a standing ovation, which I think was really, really necessary. He deserved it. And with all this performance, do you think Barcelona or Frankie de Jong would think I'm leaving in January? I definitely don't think so. If Xavi can entrust this guy and playing him every time in big games, in games that matter, and he continues to show what he did yesterday, guys, honestly speaking, Barcelona themselves, they'll surely, in fact, they will certainly reverse that decision that they were trying to push him in the summer. And even now, we've got reports how they want to still push him to go even in the January transfer window because of his wages. But looking at the reality now, if this guy continued the way he played yesterday, it is unlikely to see that scenario again. Then on to the next story of discussion. According to a fresh report from ESPN, Barcelona have already started planning for the next season and are doing so without any of their 4 captains featuring in the scheme of things. It means that the Catalan Giants are ready to part ways with their current leadership group, which comprises Sergio Busquets, Gerard Piqué, Sergio Roberto, and Jordi Alba. The captains are on the huge salaries, and the club intends to make cuts to the wage bill moving forward. Of the aforementioned quartet, Busquets and Roberto will be out of contract at the end of the ongoing campaign. And even though he has not spoken out about it publicly, it is believed that Busquets will move on in the summer, where the MLS believed to be his preferred destination. As for Roberto, the 30-year-old has the backing of manager Xavi, which is why he was handed a 1-year renewal this past summer. However, an extension beyond the current season looks improbable, as Barca are looking or are planning to invest in a new right back and a midfielder as well. The situation surrounding Piqué and Alba are much more complicated. However, the duo still have over 18 months left on their respective contracts with Barca and are owed large sums of money in deferred salary payments. So getting rid of them would be tricky, as Barcelona would have to find ways to come to an agreement with the veteran duo regarding the same. Furthermore, they would also have to find clubs who, of course, would be willing to sign them and fulfill their wage demands. So while plans may be drawn up to move on from the current leadership group, the club will still need to find ways to offload Piqué and Alba, which will be a challenging task. Challenging indeed. I think this season should be the last season of these 4 veterans. And of course, as we have just specified, Alba and of course Gerard Piqué's own case is somehow complicated because their contracts end by 2024, unlike Busquets and Roberto, whose contract ends at the end of the season, which I definitely think Barcelona will leave them go for as free. So I think this season should be the last. From the way the veterans have been playing themselves, they have not been up to standard. Nature is catching up on them, and we need to accept that. So I think Xavi and Laporta will be seeing things as realistic right now. That it's time for these veterans to to go when the season comes to an end, which means that for Piqué and Alba, definitely their contract will be run down. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.